Good evening. You're listening and you're looking at Whittemore Community Magazine Hour of Power right here now, live streaming on YouTube.
YouTube, exactly.
Yeah, YouTube. I'm your co-host, Ed McQueen. Other co-host, of course, our engineer in residence, Sister April Garner.
I wear many hats. Hi, everybody. Yes.
Yeah, and as you can see, our guest today, Mr. James Pasley, CEO of Waccamaw Economic Opportunity Center, and Ms. Lisa Carter, who will very shortly be introduced by Mr. Pasley. She's a new employee, our understanding. But we want to welcome you, and we usually start off our program transitioning from the radio scene with acknowledging and sending all of our condolences and our well wishes to all of our sick and shut in. And believe me, this has been a harsh month for our sick and shut in and deaths and all that kind of stuff. And we just want to let our audience know that that we are concerned, and whatever we can do, propagating information from the our new YouTube channel. We want to let everybody know that if you're chiming in, whatever your desires are, we can work with you and address some of those issues, some community issues. And I could defer you to our co-host April Garner right now, because I know she's anxious.
How do you know that?
I can look at you and tell.
You know how I am, huh? Well, I'm anxious for you to get to the roll call, because I'd like to welcome everyone who's viewing right now. Let's make that happen.
Yeah, right. I'm trying to give them a minute or two, so
they're coming in.
All the jurisdictions that we're encompassing. Now, of course, since we're on YouTube, I mean, it's worldwide. So, locally here in beautiful downtown Conway.
Yes, and we're global. Okay. We're global.
Yeah, we're global. We're stemming from that. So we have surrounding areas that we usually call out to just to show our appreciation and our condolences. Again, like from our sick and shut in. We start alphabetically with Aner,
Allentown.
Yeah, and hey, Ms. Pasley, and you can help us with your jurisdictions that you are used to encountering, since WEOC encompasses 3 counties in South Carolina. So we start off with Anna. She said Allentown. Okay, Bucksport,
Burgess, Bayboro,
Myrtle Beach.
Okay, Cool Springs.
Cool Springs.
Carver's Bay. Yeah, Carver's Bay. Yeah.
Lawrence.
Yeah, Green Sea.
Yeah.
Tabor City. Whiteville. North Myrtle Beach. Yeah, Hemingway. That's right. Hemingway.
Yeah. Now we're getting South Myrtle Beach. What'd you say?
Did you say East Myrtle Beach?
Yeah, you know what? You know why it's Hemingway, right? So you had to get that in there. So okay, Merle's Inlet, Falls Island. What'd you say?
Browns Ferry.
Oh yeah. Hey, those are new, April. I mean,
I gotta add that to the list. Browns Ferry. There you go.
Yeah, we got to keep those in mind.
All right.
So
did we say Merle's Inlet and Pawleys Island?
Yeah. Okay, Plantersville. Hey, can't leave them out.
Oh my gosh, we can't forget them.
Choppy.
Yes.
Dunbar.
Okay.
Oh yeah. All right.
Little River.
Santee.
Wapee.
Yeah.
I said Little. Yeah, I said Little River.
Big River.
There you go. There you go. Exactly.
All right. Plantersville. Okay.
Plantersville Road.
Huh?
Brunson Crossroad, barbecue capital of the world.
Brunson Crossroads. All right.
Yeah. All right. We have to mark that down.
I'm writing it down. Oh, Lee Moultrie, thank you for viewing from North Charleston. Very good.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, can't leave out Charleston, okay?
No, can't leave out Charleston.
Can't leave out Charleston. So my cheers to Brother Lee.
Yeah, Tell them hello from Hollywood down there, Hollywood and Red Top. And
all right.
You know, Charleston. Yeah, look, Charleston's going to be blossoming, man. We're going to do a lot of things in Charleston.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we have a lot more jurisdictions, but you know, we could say worldwide, you know, like Washington D.C. because we've gotten communications from Washington, New York, New Jersey,
Florida,
North
Carolina, Virginia, everywhere.
But so I'm sure our guests have a lot to talk about in terms of the services that they're offering. April, I'll defer to you.
Okay. All right. Well, first of all, thank you so much for joining us today, James Pasley and Lisa Carter with the Waccamaw Economic Opportunity Council, Incorporated, locally known as Waccamaw EOC. I know that that's familiar to people. And so Mr. Pasley and Ms. Carter are here to talk to us about their mission and vision and philosophy as far as what they do with Waccamaw EOC. But more importantly, they're going to discuss with us the resources and help that's available for those in need who've been impacted by COVID-19. So we'll let our special guests introduce themselves, and then we'll get right on with our discussion. So we'll start with, why don't we do ladies first? How about you, Ms. Lisa?
That's fine.
Okay, I'm Lisa Carter, and I'm the community specialist outreach person for serving Horry, Georgetown, and Williamsburg counties. I'm like a liaison between the agency, the communities we serve, and the partners who aid us in providing vital services to residents in the Tri-County area. I'm also involved in participant recruitment and ensuring that information regarding the agency efforts and initiatives are disseminated to all of our stakeholders.
Awesome. Okay, and Mr. Pasley, yes.
Well, good evening. It's certainly my pleasure on behalf of the board and employees and all of our customers that we serve throughout the Tri-Counties to be here this afternoon to share a little bit about what Waccamaw EOC is doing, always what they do all the time, but particularly in light of the challenge that we face with the COVID-19. So we're very happy to be here, and thank you for this medium to be able to get the word out about the services that we are continuing to offer and provide to the Tri-County.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Now, we have several topics of discussion today, and you definitely want to make sure that we're able to disseminate as much information as possible within this, our program. Let's start with, I guess, open up the discussion with what you all have encountered since COVID-19, and then we can kind of break down your services and resources that you have for people in the market areas that you serve.
Okay, well, thank you. Well, one of the major challenges that we have had is to figure out how we could continue providing services to our customers in our various programs, at the same time making sure that our employees are safe. We cannot provide services in any kind of sustained manner unless we make sure that our staff is safe, the environment that they work in is safe, that they have the necessary prerequisite PPEs or personal protection equipment. So when this happened back in, on March the 16th, when we found out that we were going to have to be out, our largest program is our Head Start program, our early Head Start program. And the announcement came out over the weekend on that Friday that there was going to be a cessation of all school and services provided. We felt that our parents in particular would have been very devastated by that action. So we decided that we would run an additional day. We would run our programs full blast on that following Monday to give the parents an opportunity to make plans for what they were going to do to take care of their children. So I'm happy to say that all our employees stepped up. Everybody was in place. And over that weekend, we put together a plan to continue services on that Monday and then fashion how we would do virtual services to children and families without missing a beat. We have provided service continually since the 16th up until this day with our Head Start, early Head Start program in continuing to provide service virtually. So our primary concern was the health and safety of staff, securing the necessary equipment so that we could continue providing services to our clients, not only in our Head Start program, but in our weatherization, our community services program. How could we do that in a safe, effective, and efficient manner?
Absolutely. Did you find that your participants or the persons that you served had any kind of issues with the internet or with getting used to the virtual community?
Yes, it was. it was a learning experience. No one has ever done something as huge as this is in terms of the number of people involved, the area, in such short amount of time. We had to kind of react on the fly. The staff, in terms of our Head Start program, they had to put together training materials and packets of information to send to the families, have the families understand how to implement these services. Our teachers called every day to each student. Our family services staff worked with the families, trying to see what they could do in terms of their needs, looking at not only the classroom, but the social, emotional issues, trying to be the source of information and inspiration during these challenging times. So it was a learning experience, but when people work together for a common goal, you can get things done. And I can't say enough about the board, supportive of the actions of the staff, making sure that we had what we needed to work with the staff to deliver the service, and also to take feedback from the customers. We wanted to try to meet their needs to the extent that our resources would allow. So it was a learning experience, getting the equipment in place, helping to work out the glitch with the internet, the equipment, getting additional software in place and equipment to our staff in order to be able to work from home, and then having the parents to understand how we would work together to continue to provide services.
That was one of the reasons why I wanted you to come on the program, because you all have major resources that I don't know has been communicated to the public as well enough, or adequately, you might want to say, so that it could be effective. I mean, you've got a host of programs, and you've outlined them, on some of the information that you've given us, and we can go over them later. But unless you just want to say something about it, but some of those programs, man, they're just outstanding. I mean, and we're talking about, I don't like to use the word free, but I think it boils down to that, and it's just amazing to me that there's the connection is not as vivid as probably it should be, and I could be wrong about that.
No, you're absolutely correct. We say that Waccamaw EOC Incorporated is probably one of the best kept secrets in the Tri-County. People who know about our service, they use it continuously. We've been around now for 55 plus years. Our largest program that people know is the Head Start program, where we serve over 625 children and families throughout Williamsburg and Horry and Georgetown counties. The second largest program, which is very well known, is our CSBG program, Community Services Block Grant. And I'm going to let Lisa talk about that program a little bit. But that program is the one that helps with sustaining people, trying to prevent homelessness, prevent people from having evictions, and deal with a host of other maladies that affect people who come from economically challenged situations. So Lisa, if you're ready to pipe in, I'm gonna let you talk a little bit about the CSBG program.
Okay, you got to get off of mute. All right.
Yes. Do you want me to specifically talk about the projects that we're looking at?
Well, Lisa, if you could, you want to talk a little about it in general, and then we'll go into some of those specific projects.
Let me let you talk about the CBSG, and then I can talk specifically about these projects.
All right. I'm going to tell you, Lisa is still relatively new, so she's getting familiar. She's doing a fantastic job, though. But I'm going to give you a little quick overview, and we can go into detail with any of the specifics. In our CSBG program, it is designed to be a bridge for people who are having economic difficulties. We assist individuals with rental assistance. Our assistance has to either get people into housing or prevent an eviction. We also help people with utility costs, both in the winter and in the summer. We assist people with cooling programs in the summer where we can get fans and air conditioning for people who are income eligible for the program. We also can assist with fuel costs during the winter with heating. That's either through electric or gasoline or whatever medium they use for heating. We can assist people in getting the heat, preventing a cutoff or getting it restored. You know, our dollars are to prevent hardship on people to the extent that we possibly can. We also have monies for training dollars that we can assist people with, training them in the certifiable skills that lead to employment. You know, our assistance is in many of the certificate or degree areas wherein completion of the program, the person is going to a job. We also can assist people in our youth training program with young people, and we participated with the Whittemore program in conjunction with that program, where we take young people, we help to train them in employability skills, how to dress for success, help them with preparing their resumes, provide job training opportunity, and the like. We also do some special projects that we have long-term community impact projects. And I'd like Ms. Lisa, if she would, to share a couple of those projects that we are dealing with now.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about two projects that Waccamaw EOC is currently spearheading. The first one is the Donnelly Community Revitalization Project. The purpose of that project is to help the residents of the Donnelly community revitalize their neighborhood. The Donnelly community is located about 2 miles from the center of Hemingway and has a population of 1,000 residents. The second project I'm going to talk about is the third sector project. And the third sector project is called Step Up, which stands for Skills Training Enrichment Program. And this program is designed to provide supportive services for young parents and young parents aging out of foster care, ages 17 to 24 in the Tri-County area, which, we just stated earlier was Horry, Georgetown, and Williamsburg counties. These projects are all in the developmental stages, but we are excited about their potential for success, and we do anticipate positive outcomes. So I'm going to begin with the Donnelly project. The Donnelly community is often a forgotten community. In the 1970s, the residents of Donnelly, they requested annexation to obtain water and sewer services. And today their struggles include repetitive flooding, a problem that was cited as major as far back as 1972 by the government, but it still hasn't been corrected. So the flooding problem spans like 16 roads and 346 properties. In 2017, the Donnelly community again met concerning their concerns about flooding and draining issues. Several state entities heard them, including Congressman Jane Clyburn's office, and today they still have the same problems. And some other problems that they're facing are limited police presence, safety and security concerns, and they have a high municipal utility service rates. So the community has very limited resources. Poverty is prevalent, unemployment is high, and the community also has a significant number of deteriorated properties. So what Waccamaw EOC is doing, we will provide support services to the Donnelly Revitalization Project, and those services are to promote changes, to improve economic conditions. We're going to voice community concerns to government and partnering agencies. We will advocate to have vacant, abandoned, and deteriorated properties that are beyond repair removed from the Donnelly community. And also, we want to assist the residents of the Donnelly community in developing strategies to improve safety. We will support all of their community revitalization efforts. We want to assist, as Mr. Paisley said, with rent, rental deposits, and utilities. And we also want to assist them with employment and skills training. The other project that Waccamaw EOC is heavily engaged in is the Third Sector project. Third Sector is a 501c3 organization that works alongside communities to help them achieve educational opportunities, economic stability, housing stability, and they promote physical and mental well-being. The target population for this project, they are young parents and parents aging out of foster care who are at risk of getting trapped in the cycle of poverty. So many of them lack strong support systems to achieve economic stability, and we want those two positive, the positive two-generation outcomes. So in response to the need of this population that we have identified, the Step Up program, again, which stands for Skills Training Enrichment Program, is to help link young parents to resources needed to enhance positive personal development. They'll receive help supporting their children's learning and developmental needs, expand their network of support systems, and increase chances of financial stability. Some of the services that we have targeted that they need could include independent living skills, housing assistance, health and wellness, education, employment and training, parenting skills, financial education, and again, early education intervention for their children. The program is designed to run 18 months. Clients may complete a little bit earlier, depends upon what their needs are. And so we want to invite, if you know anyone who needs these services, ages 17 to 24, who are young parents who may have aged out of the foster care system and are young parents that need our assistance, just please have them contact us. The program will include intensive case management, and if someone is identified who wants to be a part of the program, they will go through an orientation process. After the orientation, they will be asked to sign a participant agreement or a contract, which simply states that they are committed to do what is required of them to achieve both short-term and long-term success. And so we're really excited about it. They also the caseworker will develop with them an individual service plan. So each client we'll do a needs assessment to see what that particular participant's needs are, and then the individual service plan will be tailored for that particular person. So we're looking to start off with about 20 participants, and we're recruiting them from the Tri-County area. And the overall goal is that we'll assist them in breaking the cycle of the two-generation cycle of poverty. That's one of the overall goals. And we're looking at them as being at risk to repeat a cycle of poverty. And so if they want some help with these services, they can go to the WEOC.org, and they can click on the contact link, and they'll find the numbers of the contact offices nearest them.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, Lisa, that was a lot of information, but it was a lot of great information. Really. And I have just a couple of questions. Now, the Donnelly Community Revitalization Project and the Third Sector Project steps. Are these? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Lisa? I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, I can.
Can you hear me? Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay, great. Are these projects that are only designed to serve these particular communities, or have you all extended these same opportunities to other communities that Waccamaw EOC services?
The Donnelly community is specifically for that particular community, but the Third Sector project will cover all three counties, Horry, Georgetown, and Williamsburg.
Okay.
And let me say, April, that the Donnelly community, this is the first project. This is a demonstration project.
Okay, all right.
In our community service contract, we are to look at doing a project that will have lasting or sustaining value, and we can do it over a period of years. So this is the first one that we've tried, and we're learning a lot from this project, and we will take this information and we will identify other sites throughout the Tri-County when this project is completed. Now, with the Third Sector project, there's one point that I want to make. One of the goals in the Third Sector project is that the participants they'll set a goal to get employment that's going to pay them a living wage. Mm-hmm. And we've decided to look at the national target of $15 an hour and benefits. So we consider success in this program when we're able to move individuals, give them the skill set they need and the training to go out and get gainful employment that's going to pay them a quote unquote national living wage, which is pegged at $15 an hour with benefits, mm-hmm. so that they can get a job that's going to help them break that cycle of poverty, to put them on the road to success. And one of the things with the Donnelly Project, excuse me for jumping around, one of the goals of the Donnelly Project is for the community to build capacity. So our staff support is not doing for them, but assisting them in building the skills. One of the benchmarks in that project was to establish a steering committee of community residents who would be making the choices about the priorities, what topics that we would pursue first, and we provide the support. But they will be the ones making the presentation, talking to the elected official, making the deals and the negotiations. We will give them the resources and the training and the technical support for them to represent themselves. So it's about skills building, capacity building.
Mm-hmm. I think that's awesome, because you are actually allowing the stakeholders to be vested in the revitalization of their community. That's an awesome endeavor. It really is.
I think one good attraction there is the net, going along with the national minimum wage. It's going to be a national minimum wage, $15 an hour. Mm-hmm. I think that's a good start. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now I wanted to ask you about the one of the services that you had were offering, and that was the Head Start and the early Head Start. Now, what do you have slated for the future in that regard? If this virus epidemic or pandemic continues on at the rate that it's going, how are you going to make adjustments and in order so that you're in abiding by the laws that they set forth?
Right. Very good.
That okay?
Well, as you all know, that basically now almost 4 or 5 months approaching now that our children education has been interrupted. And what the primary mission of Head Start is, it's to make sure that our children are prepared to enter kindergarten. Not only our children, but our families, making sure that the families have the skill set to support their children in the learning experience. And this has been challenging, but we're very fortunate here that we have continued to provide services during that period of time. But we know that you cannot replace what the experience is like in the classroom, the social interaction with the children and the teachers, through a video or online. So we're planning now to offer an 8-week summer school for Head Start families. We're looking at the families with 4-year-olds who are in our system now that would be transitioning into kindergarten. We're putting together an augmented curriculum, looking at securing additional software, the same software that they would be using in the public schools. And we're working with the school districts to make sure that we can have a fast track to try to catch these kids up so that when they enter kindergarten, they're not going to miss a beat in terms of their preparation. Those children who were in our program for the full 2 years, entering at 3, 3, and 4, they have a very good foundation. But the last semesters, the last few months in the program year are all about transition, getting them that last little bit of information they need to be ready to enter kindergarten. For example, standing in line, holding their trays and things of this nature. Because in Head Start, we do family style meals so that we can stimulate that social interaction and dialogue, learning them how to set the table and how to serve and pass. But when we get ready to transition them to the public schools, then we start them standing in line with the trays, waiting, and this kind of thing. So those are sort of some of the stand up in line things that you will do in kindergarten that you don't do in Head Start, as well as refreshing them about the basics that they need, making sure they understand the color sets, that they know their ABCs. They do more than sing them. They can tell you that this A is out of place. If you got the A where the Q is, that's wrong. So they learn the letters and pronunciation to refresh them in those things that they may not have been getting all of the time, or all of the parents weren't working with them as well. So we have plans now. We're developing the curriculum. We're looking at what equipment we need, the training, and we expect to have an 8-week summer program. Now, in the event that we're not able to go back into the centers, we will have a virtual program that we can offer that will focus solely on the transitional aspects for those 4-year-olds and any individual that may have IEPs that need a little more time in helping them to be ready to be mainstream. So that's what
you're setting that up right now, the virtual program. I mean, as a backup.
Yes. In other words, what we're doing today, we have a virtual program with our children. Like I said, we've not missed a day in providing support for the children. But when they end the school, this is our last week in school for most of our programs. We do have some longer duration centers, 1 or 2, but the largest portion of our programs will stop on Friday. That's the regular end of our year. But in June, we will start with the summer school program, provided we're able to come back in the centers. If that doesn't happen, then we will continue with a program that's transition specific.
That's fantastic, man. I told y'all, the audience, let me let you know what WEOC has to offer.
I want to.
I just look at it. Sometimes I'm disconnected. Excuse me, but and before I forget, I also want to commend you, Pasley, and the staff and the WEOC in general for cooperating with the Whittemore Community Magazine regarding its summer job program. You all have helped that to be a success, okay, and at a great magnitude. And for that, we're grateful. Just in summary, our goal last year was set for 100. So we got 75 young people, and you all were a great portion of that. Contributed a lot in terms of your resources, time with the youth, and the feedback that we got was indicated that WEOC and its facilities were one of the best places that they had worked. They call it working, but we because we deliver paychecks there. but that's the language that they use. But yeah, we just want to bring that up and let people know that. And this year is kind of uncertain. We don't know, depending on how this COVID-19 works out and how to what magnitude that is playing. Okay, we're going to plan as usual, but after all, we're dealing with young people, and we don't want to be spreading anything. That's just a caveat there. So
right. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. we thank you for the opportunity. Anytime that we can participate in supporting young people in training and development, giving them the skill set to be successful, that's what we're all about. It's about preparing our young people so that they can be an asset, to the community and society as a whole. So we look forward and appreciate the opportunity to support you all any way we can.
That is awesome. I know that there's a couple of other points that we want to make sure we are able to discuss during this broadcast. And actually, there's a question that's come up from one of our viewers, and it hits one of the talking points. This person wants to know, will WEOC make sure that each resident is a registered voter, and also that they accomplished the census this year? So I know we were going to talk about the census, but what about voter registration?
Well, we have been encouraging all of our customers to register to vote. I don't care whether you vote for A, B, C, D, whoever, but register to vote. One of the most important things that citizens can do is participate in the electoral process. So we do encourage you to participate in the process. And you mentioned the census. The census is so important. We have a confluence of occurrences that dramatize the importance of the census. The resources that we are receiving now with the covert funding, we've had round 1, 2, 3, and 4. All of these dollars are proportioned back to the state based on the census. The census, all the relief funds, monies for roads, bridges, schools, supporting programs like Waccamaw, EOC, Head Start, all of those dollars are apportioned by formula that's determined based on population. So it's so important that we are counted, and voting and the census go hand in hand, because it determines how many representatives we get in South Carolina, how many people represent us in Washington, D.C. The census determines the proportionment of electoral districts. It makes a difference in the electoral college. So people need to participate in the process, and we're not advocating party. We're saying participate in the process. If you are in the United States, you need to be registered to vote. If you are in a household, whatever household you were in as of April 1st, you are counted in that household. It doesn't say you need to be a resident. You don't need to be any particular party. You don't have to be a U.S. citizen, whatever. If you were in that household as of April 1st, you need to be counted, because that determines the portion of dollars that come back. It represents $2,000 per person per year. So that's a lot of money when you look at it in terms of the proportionment of funds, the resources that come back to the county. So we encourage everyone. That's one of the questions we try to encourage people when they come in. Are you a registered voter? If not, go get registered, because the resources that you are benefiting from are a direct result of your participation in the census and the proportion of those dollars that come back to be of service to the community.
Oh, absolutely. If April doesn't have anything, another topic. One of the topics, and I looked at this maybe a couple of 3 years ago, that you all had weatherization project, and this is free when I say weatherization, and you can expound on it a little bit more. But we're talking about energizing the homes and stuff like that for free. Is that correct?
That's correct. And we say for free. I want to make sure that we clarify what free is. Free is at no cost.
I take that back. I don't like that word.
Participants. Every program that we have, it's an income eligible program. And these programs are designed to help the individuals that are in income brackets that they cannot really afford to do these kinds of things on their own. Our weatherization program is a very good program. What it does, it makes your home more energy efficient. The utility burden for most homeowners or renters is one of the single largest expense behind the actual expense of the home or the rent. And if you can have an impact on lowering that monthly electric bill, you have what we call money that is now disposable income. You can take that income and you can put it on buying groceries, medicine, clothes for the children, or other things. So if I can come into a home that's been having a light bill at $475 a month. And if I can have an impact on that, reducing that by $75 or $100 just by making that home more energy efficient and sharing information with the homeowner about tips where they don't use as much energy, then that's more disposable income that homeowner has to spend on other essentials. And that's what the weatherization program does. Now, it is not a remodeling program. It is not a roofing program. It's not a flooring program. And I
you better make that clear.
Yes, and the reason I mention that is because when the program first started back when ARA was around several years ago, we could do those things, but it is no longer ARA. This is a Department of Energy program, and what the Department of Energy wants is they want to cut the need to build more power plants. So they're trying to make sure that they work with homes that they can reduce the demand on energy. That reduces the amount of power plants they need to build, and it also saves the homeowner or the renter in monthly utility costs. So the homes that we can work on, they have to be fairly structurally sound so that with the energy measures that we deploy, they can achieve that energy savings. Now, what are the things that we do if we go to a home and the homeowner is eligible, but the dwelling needs other work that we can't do? We try to refer them to other providers of service in the community who can maybe do the roof or do the floor, and then we come back and do the energy saving measures. So we do try to work with the community and leverage our resources with other human service providers so that we can serve that client. But that's a very, very important program that has benefited people immensely. One other program I want to really touch upon quickly as a result of the COVID-19, in the third round of funding, community action programs across the country were very fortunate, and I have to give a shout out to our delegation. We talk about James Clyburn, Congressman Rice, Senator Scott, Senator Graham. They really supported the COVID to earmark $1.85 billion to community action programs across the country. That 1.85 doesn't come to Waccamaw. It is it's for the country, but we get a portion of that, again, based on that formula from the census. We will get a portion of those dollars to aid the community in economic recovery. And what happens here is that with our CSBG programs, the eligibility used to be at 125% of poverty. With these new dollars that are specific to COVID, we are now at 200% of poverty in terms of eligibility. Now, you might say, well, what does that mean? He's playing alphabet soup. Well, what it means is that people who were not eligible for our programs before are now eligible for those programs. People who were working, paying their rent, paying a mortgage, had a job, and they've lost a job or been put on layoff. Because of this, they are now eligible to receive assistance through this program. And this program will have expanded services. We'll be able to do things because we have flexibility with these new dollars that we couldn't do with our regular CSBG dollars. So we are in the process now of sending out surveys in the community. Many of you may have received some of these surveys, and Ms. Carter can talk a little bit more because she's responsible for tabulating these things. But we're trying to identify current needs of this new population of individuals who are eligible as a result of being in economic hardship because of the COVID virus. So we're very excited about this. We're accepting applications now, and we are negotiating with various vendors to be able to provide services to this new population of customers, as well as the customers that we've been serving through the regular program.
As far as the weatherization services, you mentioned a number of things that are not covered through this particular program, but what are some examples of some of the energy efficient measures that have been taken to help reduce, reduce costs?
In the weatherization program, one of the major problems is air penetration. Air penetration is responsible for a significant percentage of energy loss from a home. If you have leaky windows, if you have pipes coming in under the sink, if you have your duct work, your registers that are leaking, you're leaking out half of the air before it even gets into the house. Your furnace is working harder, you're using more energy, but you're not being efficient about the heating or cooling that's coming into your house. So we have diagnostic equipment that they will come out and they will check your ductwork to see whether or not it's sufficient in terms of the air flow or volume coming into the house, bringing the cool or warm air. They've got devices, infrared devices that they can test your windows, your walls, and they can tell where air penetration is occurring, and they know that's where they're going to cork or add insulation. Insulation is one of the most important things that you can do. The amount of heat lost through the roof for not having sufficient depth of insulation. The corking around where the pipes come into your home. This not only helps with better efficiency, but it also keeps out those little pesky rodents, ants, roaches, and other things, because you have these holes that they can get through. So if you can seal them, you keep the bugs out, and you also keep that air from penetrating out. High efficiency light bulbs, the CFLs, the LEDs, replacing those, looking at old fixture appliances, water heaters that are inefficient, leaking. Those are some of the kinds of things that we can do, and that's a small list that I just ran there.
I was going to say that's comprehensive, and I'm so impressed that it's a small list.
I don't want to see the large one, okay?
I know. Wow. Okay.
But thank you for all that information. I'm hoping that our viewers and listeners take that in because that was very helpful. I thought you went into specifics, which I'm grateful for, and things like insulating pipes and and caulking the pipes and stuff like that, and preventing air from coming in. A lot of people look at that as not very important. I mean, not a priority, but yet they're the victims of not having enough warmth in their house, and not having and not controlling the air and so forth. So that was, to me, that was priceless information.
You'll be surprised at wrapping a water heater, wrapping those lines that are hot. You insulate those lines that you have heat on, so they hold that heat. When you talk about taking a $475 light bill and you drop that down to $300, that's a significant savings. And we've got stories after stories of like that where we impact anywhere from 15 to 30% of utility costs.
So you have skilled personnel for all these different types of trades. I mean, different types of things and projects, right? Do you have them ongoing every day?
We have our staff, our weatherization staff is very skilled. They're certified in the use of this equipment, but we contract out. We used to have in-house repair folks and carpenters and HVAC folks, but the demand is so large that it was more efficient to contract. So we have crews in terms of carpentry, HVAC, plumbing that we contract with locally. And that's one of the things that's unique about our program. We not only employ a lot of people. Waccamaw has on average about 225 employees on year round. But we also contract services like this for other things that we need on a periodic basis. So in the area of carpentry for our weatherization program, HVAC work and those other skill sets like that, we contract with local providers to provide those services.
Fantastic. Fantastic. What do you think about that, April?
I think it's awesome. You know, and just like he says, they're definitely I don't want to say a best kept secret. This doesn't need to be a secret. There's so many things that you all can do that benefit the communities that you serve. And I don't know, maybe people just don't know where to start as far as looking for resources, or you know, they're not quite sure. Sometimes people are a little timid about applying for services if they feel that like they may not qualify, but you don't know until you take that action. So, you know,
I think that's right. Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Yeah,
and that's typical. It across all age groups.
Age groups, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that we've been trying to do, some people say that we were sort of our message was getting cluttered because everybody's name was Waccamaw, and our logo was sort of dated. So I'm going to just flash with you what the new logo is. If you can, let me see, can I put it up?
Yeah, you put it up. Yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
Well, it says, see the family. That's not, but when you see this now, this is the new Waccamaw logo. I'm trying to get a focus here. You see the family under it?
Looks good, yes.
So we're trying to you know, to be descriptive as to who we are, to let people know that we're still here and these are the things that we do. Now, our customers know us now. We served over 5,000 people last year, you know, in terms of direct contact with individuals coming in and providing services. So it's not that we're not busy, but we want the community to know about who we are and what we're doing. And that's where Ms. Carter comes in her position. Ms. Carter, you know, can talk a little bit about what her position is to do, but she is our outreach person. She is the person to go to the Lions Club, the Kiwanis, the Ladies Flower Group, to talk about what we are, to identify new partners for our programs. And what Waccamaw does, we do a lot of referrals and partnering with other agencies, like Father's Place, Waccamaw Council of Governments, just to mention a few. We partner with other agencies to leverage what we can do. If we can do part of it, another agency can do the rest, we refer them. That way, both of us win. Each agency helps somebody, and the individual wins. So, Ms. Carter, can you talk a little bit about your mission, your job?
You got to get off. All right, go ahead.
Off mute. So, as we stated, I am the community outreach specialist. So I will be going to different organizations and sharing with them the projects that we are working on, and also trying to get the information out to residents who may not be familiar with some of the program services. I'm hoping with the partnering agencies that we are able to expand some of the outreach services. So we're really looking forward to working more closely with them. I've met with some organizations already to talk about some of the projects we're working on and the overall project, and they have been very receptive to what we're doing and offering their services. So we will continue that, and we're looking forward to seeing how it's going to impact the Tri-County area.
Okay, I don't know if you touched base on this, and forgive me if you did and I didn't listen to that. About a rental assistant, Pasley?
Yes.
Did you?
Yeah,
we elaborate a little bit on that, and to what extent it goes to, and what's the qualification? What, you know?
Again, all of our programs are income based. The individual has to qualify based on their income and family size and so forth. But our rental program is designed to do one of two things. It's either to get people into housing. We will assist with that first month's deposit, security deposit for the house, the utilities, to get them in. That's one of the ways that we could assist with rental income, getting them into housing. And the second way is preventing an eviction. If someone is down on their luck, they had an accident or an illness or whatever, we could assist them with that 1 month's rent to try to hold them over until they can get their feet back on the ground to keep from getting evicted. Now, some people might say, well, you're just helping someone who has been a bad habit or mismanagement. No, we not only help that individual, but we also help the landlord. You don't have to go through the process of legal expense of eviction. That the landlord doesn't have to repost it. This person doesn't have to go out and be homeless. So if we can be that bridge over that rough spot to keep that person in the housing, to keep a family stabilized, we've helped not only the individual, but the community and the family and the landlord. So we are not only do we provide service to individuals who are economically challenged, we're also a major economic engine for the Tri-County area. And with our
do you pay? Oh, I'm sorry.
I said with our payroll that we have for staff, with the services that we provide, utilizing local vendors, we are a major economic engine for the PD area, for the Grand Strand as well.
Absolutely. So do you, getting back to the rental assistance, do you actually pay for a month?
Yes, our assistance goes directly to the landlord. In other words, once a client comes in and they establish the need and that they're income eligible, then we cut a voucher for the amount to the landlord or to the utility company. No cash goes to the recipient. Once the need is established, that it's a legitimate need and the applicant is eligible, the assistance that goes to the landlord, goes to the vendor.
Okay, and one other service that you all provide is medication assistance. Is that the same as just medical assistance in terms of resources, or just medication? I see the word medication.
Right. We can assist with certain prescriptions for assistance, but we could also assist with dental. We're very proud of our dental program, and I'm gonna tell you a quick story with that. We've had several people that had problem with their dentures and bad teeth, and they just had low self-esteem. We were able to assist them with our dental program, and they go in, they get a full set of shinies, and then they come back and they have gotten high self-esteem and have gotten gainful employment, and they give all the credit to that service that gave them the self-esteem to go out and represent themselves and the confidence in going out and get gainful employment. But so this program, it's not a Medicaid program, anything like that. It's income eligible, but it can provide assistance with medication, dental, and other services like that. You know, in South Carolina, we're one of the states that did not participate with the expansion of Medicaid through Obamacare. And so we have a lot of people that are in the crack and need financial assistance. So we dedicated some of our program dollars where we had discretion to this program, and it's been a major success. We're very proud of that.
Well, that's great, man. That's the kind of information that really needs to be out there. You know, I can't imagine, you know, people knowing about the dental services that you all are offering. Could you, if you have time, could you go into in depth in terms of, for example, what would be offered? For example, is that a cleaning? You pay for cleaning or replacement of dentures, or I know you mentioned dentures, stuff like that.
Lisa, are you familiar with that? All of the particulars of it, Lisa?
Not with that, but I do know we partner with one of our organizations, and they offer the dental cleanings. They will do tooth extractions and any kind of anything to do it, like if you're in pain with your mouth and whatever they need to do. So they are free. So they will do that. I do know they will do dental extractions, and I do know they will do the free cleanings.
I'm sorry, I can't be more specific about that one. You know, we have several programs here, and I try to be as knowledgeable about most of them, but I'm not as not. But if you have questions, please call us. We have staff available during working hours, and they'll be happy to assist you. If you got any questions, if you think you're eligible, call us. Our staff want to assist you.
Look, after the day, man, you want to have some viewers wanting to have you on the lecture circuit.
No.
I posted the WEOC.org website in the comments, and just in case there are any viewers who want to check out your website, more information about your services, and also have your contact information handy. So we're pretty much rounding up at about an hour now. Brother Edward, is there anything else you'd like for us to cover with our guests? I know the one thing we haven't touched on were the curbside meals. Is that a COVID-19 service right now? Is that what that's connected to?
What happened? We had two situations with the curbside meals. We found out on spring break that Williamsburg County was not serving meals because the school district was out on vacation. Well, over the weekend, we were able to pull our staff together and we were able to fill the gap. During that week, we served well over 800 meals to all children and families, whoever came, to meet that gap when the school district wasn't serving. And then the same thing is true in Horry County when Horry had that challenge, and they asked for organizations to step up. We were able to step up overnight and assist them in providing the meals when they had the challenge when they couldn't. Our goal is during the process not to allow any of our children who were used to getting those meals when we were in operation to go without a meal, because we knew that some families really had challenges in that area. So our goal was to make sure that there was not a lapse. And I'm thankful to say that we were able to do so. We were able to step up and meet that void.
Awesome.
Yeah, really, really, man. Really awesome. We're glad to have you on the program.
Absolutely. We've learned so much today.
That kind of information. So do you add more things each year, Pasley?
Yes, sir, we do. We try to provide services that are needed, not just to provide something on a prescriptive manner. So we do what we call a community assessment. We do an in-depth community assessment every 3 years, and we do an update once a year. That's when we send out these surveys. And I know people don't like to fill out surveys, but these surveys help us tailor programs to meet the specific needs of the community. You know, the Community Service Block Grant is one of the few federal assistance programs that allows community flexibility. In other words, Commerce appropriates these dollars, they send them to the state, and then the state sends them to the Community Action Agency to meet the identified needs in the community. So we do surveys to try to identify what are the particular needs. So our programs do change. That's not always the same thing.
Yeah, I'm a respecter of time, April. I've said what I had to say, but sorry, went over a little bit. Sorry.
Oh no, we're good. I think it was really good information, and just want to thank both of our guests, James Pasley and Lisa Carter of Waccamaw Economic Opportunity Council, Inc., better known as Waccamaw EOC. That's how you really identified across a lot of different markets that you serve. Awesome information. And again, if you want more information about this wonderful agency, please visit www.weoc.org and be in touch with them. Let them know what your needs are. And I'm sure if they can't provide a resolution or a solution for it, they can definitely give you a referral somewhere that can actually help you. So once again, thank you so much for all you do in all of the surrounding communities. And we definitely hope to have you back again soon, maybe post-COVID. We can talk a little bit about the communities that you've serviced and what the impact was during COVID-19 and how these people are doing. And I definitely want to hear more about the Donnelly Community Revitalization Project, especially since this is, like your inaugural project. So that would be wonderful to hear the results from that. So thank you very much for being here today.
Well, thank you all for the opportunity. We appreciate it. And we love the partnership with the organization, with your organization. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right. So, Brother Edward, do you want to tell them who's going to be with us next Monday?
Hey, guess what? We're going to have the mayor, and we're going to have representation throughout, with the county and the city of Conway. So we're talking about County Councilman Orton Bellamy and the Conway City Mayor Barbara Blaine Bellamy to come on and talk about what adjustments they had to make and how I guess the county and the city are coping with the COVID-19 restrictions. So we're looking forward to hearing that, and so that maybe we can make adjustments or something. So based on what they're saying. So, you know, sometimes the information just doesn't get out, you know, that they want to dispense out from a county perspective and a city perspective. So we're looking forward to that. So next week, so join us, all of our listeners, to hear what they have to say.
Absolutely. We'll be right here on YouTube at 6 p.m. Look for announcements and emails to come out announcing more about our special guests and some talking points. And of course, if you're watching and you have a topic that you think would be interesting, we can definitely dig into it and see who we can bring on the show to talk more about what you're interested in from a community standpoint. And if you've enjoyed our guests in the past, please let us know. We can always invite them back. So once again, thank you to Waccamaw EOC for being here today. And thank you all for listening. We hope that you continue to remain safe, and God bless.
And stay your distance.
Please practice social distancing. Wash those hands, hand sanitizer, mask. We're going to come up with a little dance the next time, Brother Edward. Make it happen. That's okay. Okay, Mr. Pasley got it. Yes, absolutely. Great example. Setting a great example. Thank you so much. So thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Right.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.